Okay, quick recap. This is Dexcel Developments. They're planning on developing this site right here, and they're hoping to get input from the public. Check out our last video if you need to get caught up. All right, let's do this. So we're here in front of St. Andrew's Church Hall. Tonight's the first engagements for Spring Garden West, and I'm kind of excited, a little bit nervous. But anyways, let's go. I think. So it turns out this is the actual entrance.
So why is this area important to you? Why did you turn up tonight? What is it about this development or this area that has meaning for you?
My goal today is obviously to be listening to you, the public. I'm very excited to see this turn out tonight.
So the first engagement session wrapped up. Everyone took a lot of notes. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of great feedback actually. I mean, I'm clearly exhausted right now. I think I need a haircut. I don't know. All right, now that that's over with, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. Let's do it. The developer's initial idea for the site is to have a building that has a mid-rise portion, mostly filling the block, and 2 towers on top of it. More like this. But that's all very preliminary. The first engagement session was intended to get input from the public on how to make this building appropriate for its surrounding community. Now we're going to try to sum up the results of that. Like we mentioned, the developer does have a set criteria for the building, but there are 4 main aspects of the project that they'd like the public to influence. First is its historical context. The site currently has 3 heritage houses on it, and the plan is to preserve them separately from the new building. But perhaps there are other bits of history that could be recognized here. Second is the building's streetscape, or basically how the building looks like from the street. A lot of people walk past this site already, so there's quite a bit of discussion to be had here about how to make the sides of the building interesting and enjoyable for pedestrians. Third is Balcom Square. Now Balcom Square, which is actually a triangle, is a tiny park across the road from the site. The developer team is discussing with HRM on how to improve this underutilized green space. One idea is to close off Coburg Road and extending the park to the church to make it a more active space. And finally, the atrium. The current plan is to have an atrium inside the building with shops and services that are open to the community. The design of that space and what's offered there, well, that's up to the public at this point. Now this first engagement session was geared towards more general discussion about the development, but some pretty key themes still came up. We've tried to summarize them right here, but the full notes can be found online at this web address. Why not check it out? First off, many people emphasize the importance of an inviting street experience with gathering spaces, green areas, lighting, and seating. This included maintaining the fabric of the current neighborhood. Right now, the development is planning on demolishing 8 unique buildings, and it'd be a shame if they were replaced with a drab, uniform wall. With that in mind, there was also a lot of talk about making the development more suitable for days when we don't want to be outside, which, knowing Halifax, is like most of them. Many suggested more sheltered spaces on the streets for pedestrians. A resonating point during the session was to make the units and services in the building affordable for students and families, and many asked that local businesses be represented well in the commercial spaces. Finally, the issue of height and density. Many people in the city are concerned about the development's size and what that might mean in terms of wind tunnels, shade, or the neighborhood's character. And they have a point. The building may very well be the tallest of its surroundings in a zone that currently allows for 35-foot tall buildings. That being said, there are other buildings in the area that are taller than their allowances as well. Now when you link this all together, the engagement process can definitely incorporate some of the input of the public, especially around the streetscape and its historical context. But there are also points around height and affordability that may be at odds with the developer's original criteria, and that criteria ultimately determines the financial viability of the development. So we're interested to see how this plays out. Now keep this in mind. None of this actually happens under a normal development agreement process, and having these developer-led engagement sessions seem to be a step towards having our developments reflect the aspirations of our community. But that only works if people actually give their input. So if you have any thoughts on any part of this development, please feel free to post a comment at this website, or better yet, come to one of the engagement sessions. The next one's on May 11th at St. Andrew's Church Hall. I hope you stay tuned.